Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be cooking chicken biryani. It's a very simple recipe. It's a recipe that my mom showed me how to cook. So it's not very complicated. Even if you're making it for the first time, it's really easy. So let's get cooking. So these are the ingredients we will be using today. About 100 grams of butter. I've got sunflower cooking oil. Then I've got onions, green pepper, sliced, and some dry curry leaf. I don't have fresh in the garden at the moment. Then our dry whole spices. I've got braising spice, which is optional. I've got 3 cinnamon sticks, 2 bay leaf, cloves, and ilachi pods. Then I've got our dry fine spices. I've got coriander powder, jeera powder, hardi. I've got some chili flakes and kashmiri mix. This is the tomato paste I'm using today. I've got 2 medium tomatoes that I've diced, some curry paste, and then I've got some Robertson's barbecue seasoning, salt to taste, the lentils, about 1 cup that I've cooked already. You could use the one in the can. I've got just over 1 cup of tastic rice that I've washed. I've got chicken marinated, just over a kg. I marinated this last night, so I've added the ginger and garlic in the chicken already. And I've just put a little bit of seasoning. You could use any seasoning that you want. So I did not put yogurt in this, but it did marinate nicely. Then I've got some potatoes. I've got about 3 medium potatoes that I've cut, and coriander to garnish and taste. So let's start cooking. So I've got a large cast iron skillet that I'm using today. I've got my flame on high. I'm just going to be adding about 200 ml of cooking oil. I am going to list the full recipe and the quantities in the description box. And then I've got about 100 grams of butter. You could add ghee, clarified butter if you want. I do sometimes, but today I'm just using the butter. Then I'm adding our green pepper, sliced onion, and curry leaf. The oil is hot. I'm adding our dry spices. So this is cinnamon sticks, braising spice, bay leaves, jeera, cardamom pods, and clove. So I'm just gonna cook this until the onions cooks well, and then we are ready to add the other ingredients. The onions has now cooked. I also forgot to mention that I've added 2 green chilies here. That is optional because we've got Kashmiri blend and curry powder and chili flakes as well. So now I'm going to be adding the powdered dry spices, the curry paste. This curry paste I made on my own. I will list the recipe, but that's a day for another video. So I'm going to be adding our tomatoes. You could grate this if you want, and some tomato paste. Just give this a mix. At this point, I'm also adding the lentils. Just going to give this a nice mix. I'm going to put the lid on and let this cook for about 5 minutes. So this has been cooking now for 5 minutes. The tomatoes are not really cooked. So I'm just going to let it cook for another few minutes. The tomatoes are now cooked. We're ready to add some of the other ingredients. This is a very simple biryani to make. So it's quick and easy. You could make it on a weekday. It's a really easy meal that you don't have to put in too many ingredients. I'm just going to add the chicken now. And the rice. I'm adding the potatoes also at this point because this is going to go in the oven. And I'm adding the Robertson barbecue seasoning and just a little bit of salt, not too much because the seasoning already has salt in it. Just going to give this a good mix. I'm just going to add a little bit of warm water in here. You don't have to, but if you think it's going to dry out, then you should. You could add some chicken stock if you like, but I prefer just using some lukewarm water. Just going to mix everything in properly, because we want to get the salt and all the spices in there. So at this stage I am going to be adding the coriander so the flavors absorb nicely, and when we're serving I'll just add some for garnish. You could also add some thyme and mint from the garden, but I didn't have any today. So I'm going to cover this with the lid now and put it in our oven, and I'm going to let it cook for 60 minutes and then we're ready to serve. So the biryani has been cooking for 60 minutes. It's cooked. I did put a skewer through the potato. Everything's cooked. Colors are looking great. So ready to serve. I'm just going to add some coriander for garnish. My daughter's going to come from school shortly and she's going to be so hungry and she's going to enjoy this. I am going to be making some traditional carrot salad to go with this. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please subscribe and share as well. And until our next video, take care. Bye bye.